Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I'm going to be judging more of your guys' cars. You guys seem to actually really like the video that I last put out judging your guys' cars, so I'm going to keep doing it and actually try to make it sort of a weekly thing until this quarantine is over, or maybe even past that. So down at the bottom of the screen, that is the email you can send your cars to get judged on this video. And so I'm going to sort of break it up and make shorter videos, because the last one was almost 50 minutes long. And no one wants to sit through that. So last but not least, if your car is featured in the video and or you are sending your car in, I do car reviews. That is sort of one of the main parts of my YouTube channel, if you're unaware. And so if I can review your car, no matter where you're located, leave your location info and say, hey, I'd be down to have you do a review, location info, a little bit of facts about the car, and stuff like that, because, you know, I might be in your neck of the woods some point soon. So without further ado, let's get into it. So this one is just from Extreme. That's the YouTube name. It says, hi, I have a 2006 Subaru Baja Sport non-turbo with a 5-speed standard. This is my high school graduation gift from my parents, and I use it daily for outdoor activities. It has an aftermarket stereo with a 7-inch Bluetooth tablet and dual 14-inch subwoofers. I haven't used the ski racks yet. I am more than glad to have you review the Baja. This is where I'm located, and stuff like that. So, very cool. I think Bajas are super unique. I haven't driven one. I've driven a lot of Subarus from this era, Outbacks, Legacies, and WRXs, and I'd be interested to see what's different about the Baja. Of course, it does have a bed, which is really neat. I like it a lot. I think Bajas are super unique, and if you can keep it rust-free, that'll be quite the little treat of a car. Next is from Dean. It says, my Corvette full restoration, custom interior, Type R Sonic Gray body kit, and etc. So Dean and I believe, are actually friends on Facebook, but I've never seen this car in person. This car is really, really cool. When he says restoration, it is a full restoration. I mean, really, really cool job here. And it looks absolutely great. Also, he has one of the pictures parked next to one of my dream cars, Lamborghini Gallardo. But overall, I think this is really cool, and I really want to start getting into C4 Corvettes. I think that they're really, really unique and cool. And I haven't done sort of those older gens yet. I'd be interested to see what he has under the hood, if it's just factory refurbished or whatnot. But this is one of those really, really cool stories that he really did bring a car back from the grave. That was really, really cool to see. So thank you, Dean. Next is from Kenneth. Hi, I have a FBO stripped 135i track car. Has a laundry list of mods, including a one-off suspension and aero. Let me know if you're interested. Car makes just shy of 470 horsepower. This is really, really cool. I love the livery, and I love, as you guys know, the BMW M2 is so far one of the best cars I've ever driven, because I like the small size and I love the horsepower. This has that small size and looks to be making more than an M2, so I would definitely totally be interested. Kenneth, if there's any way I could review this, that would be absolutely awesome. You'll have to shoot me an email or something of the sort. Just because I think the power to weight ratio in this thing must be absolutely perfect. I like the livery. It's a little busy, but I think, you know, to stand out, it definitely accomplishes that very, very well. And I like the, I think that's exhaust. It looks like a wrapped exhaust in the back. I love that too. So thank you, Kenneth, for that. Next one is from Jamie. Hey, Zach, it's Jamie from the Mazda Boys group chat. Yes, we do have a Mazda Boys group chat. Hello, Jamie. This is a response to your post on Facebook a few minutes ago. This is my car. If you want to review it when quarantine is over, I'm down as well. There are just a few bolt-ons. Yes, I would actually love to drive one of these. I think these look really, really good. I think the later end of this sort of body style looks better. 2018 is like the perfect year for me, Mazda 3-wise. At least Mazda 3 hatchback. I don't like the redesign, actually. The back of it just looks all wrong. But I really do like the look of these, and I'd be interested to see what it feels like with just some simple, basic bolt-ons. Because I know these cars are already fun in their stock format. So this one is from Ethan. It just says, hey, and it is his Expedition. So I actually reviewed this last summer, and he just got the rig back, had some work done to it. Really, really love this thing. I mean, really, the back of this, the second and third row, to me, I even said it in the review, felt like a private jet, and he has had it chipped, tuned, all those goodies, and it makes solid power. So definitely it is the EcoBoost Twin Turbo V6. I think really this is a really interesting SUV because it's quick, but it's not quick with a big V8, and it's luxurious, and all around this is a awesome homie hauler. And I'm really excited to see what he does with this, if he tends to keep it, because he tends to cycle vehicles every once in a while. This one is from Josh. Hey Zach, this is my old 1983 Datsun 280ZX. It is my first car, and I bought it completely stock. I bought it in May of 2018 and traded it last November for an FC RX-7. Since then, I've sold the FC and I'm looking for another ZX car because I love it so much. Here's the list I completed when working an 8-hour job. S13 coilovers, NRG suede wheel, Rota Shakotan wheels, very popular wheels, Techno Toy tuning tension rods, good stuff. Classic air dam paint matched, OEM headlight covers paint matched, straight piped exhaust. It was also broken into. Sorry to hear that. I know you haven't reviewed a Datsun, so when I buy my next Z, I'd be happy to let you review it. I am out of state that I don't need to share. Thank you and keep up the great work. So yeah, he's right. I haven't reviewed an older Z. I really like that front air dam. I think that the paint match works really well. I probably would have painted or kept, I'm not sure if it comes factory painted, but the trim above that, sort of that line where the turn signals are, or the running lights, I think I would have kept that black just to add a little bit of an accent piece, but I really like that air dam, and those headlight covers are really cool. I love the wheels. I think overall this is a great looking car. The issue with these cars is that they rust out really bad, even without being in Michigan or Illinois or Wisconsin. Without even being in the Rust Belt, these things have rust issues. But yeah, Josh, definitely let me know if you find another Z car, because I have been kicking around the idea of coming down to your area. There's some cool rotary stuff down there. So yeah, definitely keep me posted on that, and the email is always open. Up next, we have Garrett. He said, this is my 1970 Triumph TR6 in Laurel Green. I'm currently in the Marine Corps and purchased the car while I was deployed a few months ago. I had family members test drive the TR6 before buying it. However, due to the coronavirus, I still haven't received the car because the delivery company can't cross state lines. Hopefully by next week I'll get the TR6. I'm stationed in North Carolina. I saw you review the Triumph TR6. However, if you ever are in the area, hit me up. Yeah, so like he said, I did review one of these. I'd always be down to drive another, of course. I love these cars. They're interesting. To me, they sort of feel like they feel like an old boat to me, or like a little fishing boat, because they're fun to drive, they're spry, the engines sound so good. They're straight sixes with dual carburetors. I mean, overall it's just, they make great sounds. They're fun to drive. They're not fun to drive if you're a bigger guy like me, but since you're in the Marine Corps, I'm sure you're not as big as me, and so I think you'll be fine in that regard. But it's something that I feel like I could never fully daily or something like that, but definitely for like a little weekend car. You're gonna run some errands on a Sunday afternoon. This is perfect, and I can't get over it. These things sound so good, so good. I know my friend Ryan would agree with me. So we have one from Brandon, of course, our first RX-7 of the episode. Hi, Zach. My name is Brandon, and this is my 81 GSL RX-7. I bought it in California, and it has 85,000 miles on it. When I bought it, it was completely stock, but I've had it about a year and a half, and I've done some things. I have an NRG Gen 2 quick release paired to an Energy floral hydro-dipped dish steering wheel. I do want to do a quick release on my car, so I might be hitting you up on some tips for that. My seat setup is a mismatch of different parts and different brands. They're Corbo sliders with NRG brackets with replica brides. My wheel and tire setup is 15x8 Enkei Classic 92s, very similar to the first wheels that I had on my red car. My red car actually had rip-offs of these wheels. I'm hoping to get a Racing Beat suspension package in the near future. I've been a big fan of the channel and miss the red FB. I hope you keep making great content. I miss the red FB too, but this car looks really nice. I like this color. You know, I don't think FBs were really ever sold in a bad color, but there's not too many of these sort of root beer champagne looking FBs left. So I really, really like those. I love the mesh wheels. Gotta love the mesh wheels. And yeah, I mean, I gotta love another FB. Not a big fan of the interior, not the floral wheel, but I don't like S1 and S2 interiors. I don't know why. I think FB, the Series 3 interiors have got to be my favorite. But overall, this car looks really, really clean and really, really good. So thank you, Brandon, for sending that in. Up next, we have Kayden. Here's my 1994 F-150 XLT with a 302 and my 1987 Ford Escort GT. My truck was my first car, and it has over 315,000 miles on it, and to my knowledge, they only made this color combo for a few years. My Escort is my project, as you can see from the pictures. I bought it for $150, and it had been sitting for 10 years. The guy had it before me, put a 1.9 SEFI motor from a 1992 Escort, and my future goal is to put a 2-liter Z-Tech motor with a supercharger. And in my opinion, I think the Escort GTs are underrated. I love your videos and keep up the good work. Thank you so much. This is really, really interesting. I love OBS. I believe that's the body style. These older sort of early 90s Ford F-150s. I did review one, but it was a long, long time ago, and it was only the straight 6. I'd be interested to drive something like this. I love the color combo. Super, super 90s. We won't see this color combo again probably for quite some time. But I think overall it does look really, really good. The Escort is interesting. I've never driven an Escort, and I understand that they're sort of underrated, but also they have such a cult following. I mean, Escorts, Ford Contours, early Focuses, I feel like all sort of fall under the same sort of classification, and people fall in love with these things. And I'd really be interested to get my hands on them because when I see a car with such a cult following, I want to understand that. I want to get into that. So why do people flock to these older Ford Escorts? Are the chassis light? Are the engines great? I mean, are they, anything like that. So thank you so much for your submission. Obviously a Ford guy, and I'm glad that you're keeping that thing running. 315,000 miles is nothing to thumb your nose at. Next up, we have a submission from, I believe, Mark. First car is my 1990 Mazda Miata, basic mods, Cosmics, 15x8 wheels, coilovers, Flying Miata frame reinforcements, and rebuildable drive shaft with a torsion 1.8 differential swap from a 2002, Garage Star Deerlin diff and door bushings, Boss hub with a Sparco deep dish 3-spoke wheel and Racing Beat intake. Second car is my 4-door 1968 Chevy Nova, stock with a 250 inline 6 and Powerglide 2-speed transmission. Original engine and transmission, never opened or rebuilt, still runs perfect. Bought it when I was 15 and restored it with my parents before I got my license. Only thing done to it so far is the torque thrust, wheels. Mod-wise, I've owned it now for 6 years. Don't worry, I don't drive it in the snow. That video was just once for fun. Been watching since the 12A, was still in the FB, love the channel. Thank you so much. First of all, that's a long-time viewer, if you've been watching since the 12A days, as we call it here. Miata looks super clean. The Miata looks good. He sent in a picture with an FB, which is absolutely awesome. And oh, shoot, what's that Volkswagen named? I think they had VR6s. I forgot the name of those. But those are really, really cool. There's the first car you could get in Forza Horizon. But super, super cool. Looks super clean. Now, this Nova, I'm so interested in the Nova because I don't have any experience with them, but I know people absolutely love them. And they look like a more of a modest muscle car than, your Chargers, Challengers, Camaros, Corvettes. They seem more of like an everyday man's Nova. There's some country song that sings about a Nova. There's probably multiple ones of them. And yes, of course, I had a country phase back in the day. But these are just so unique to me, and it's just something that you don't really see much of anymore. So that's really, really cool to see. And I'm glad that you've kept it in such good condition, and I'd be interested to see what a 2-speed transmission is like. Because you're like, wah, wah, you're done. Like, that's it. So that's really, really cool. So thank you for your submission there. One last car here for this video, but I will continue next week with all the submissions, of course. But this is from Patrick. This is my 1967 Volkswagen Squareback. I have a super detailed build thread on the Samba, and more recently I started a YouTube channel. So we'll go to his YouTube channel. I'll give him a shout out here. His YouTube channel is Dream Wrench, spelled exactly how you would think, and it's 2 words. So if you want to go check that out, I would highly recommend that. And he sent us a little information. I've been working on this car for a few years. It's my first build, and I'm basically learning everything as I go. I've done an insane amount of metal work to get the car looking as straight as possible because it was in a front-end collision before I owned it. It's become a huge part of my life and has forced me to face some serious challenges. This car taught me that I'm capable of more than I originally thought, sounding a lot like my RX-7. When I first got my RX-7, the most advanced thing I had ever done to it, to any car ever, was the rotor and cap, distributor cap on a pickup truck. And then I was thrown into doing an engine swap. So I totally get where he's coming from with this stuff. I'm not done yet. There's still a ton of challenges to come, I'm sure, but I'm proud of what I've accomplished so far, and I look forward to finishing out this build. It's going to be low and have more power than stock, so hopefully it'll be fun to drive when it's done. Check out the build thread and channel if you feel like it. By the way, I only recently discovered your channel, and I'm really digging the RX-7 content. My brother had an FC back in high school, and it is still one of my favorite cars to this day. Keep up the good work shooting cars. Thanks for checking out my build, Pat. So this is really, really cool. I actually had to Google what a squareback was. I had never heard of this. To me, Volkswagens before the 90s, to me, are the Beetle, the Bus, and the Karmann Ghia. That's all I really know about. And like GTIs, I think were in the 80s. Like Rabbits and stuff started coming around in the 80s, but I have no previous knowledge. I didn't even know that these things existed. And they look like 2-door wagons, which is really, really unique to me and really, really cool. I love the wheels. I think the car is good where it is. I would not personally lower it anymore, but you know, to each their own. And I think honestly, from looking at the picture you sent, very straight. The car looks very, very solid. Body lines wise, hood could use a little work, but I'm sure you know that. I think honestly, a layer of good solid paint on this thing, and it'll look really, really good. It looks really solid, and being a California car, you're not going to have to deal with the rust too much. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for sending in your submissions. Like I said, the email is at the bottom of the screen if you'd like to submit your own cars for judgment via me. But hope you guys are staying safe. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next Friday for another video. Take care, guys. Aside from my soul.